Bridget McKenzie, the Nationals Deputy Leader, Federal Nationals Deputy Leader. She's been under enormous pressure over the past 3 or 4 days in relation to some sports grants that were handed out prior to the May 18 election. And we head to the front of the Age. She's in the firing line again, pardon the pun. Minister failed to reveal gun club link. Federal Cabinet Minister Bridget McKenzie approved a $36,000 taxpayer-funded grant for a clay target shooting club in regional Victoria without publicly disclosing she was a member. The embattled Nationals Deputy Leader is engulfed in growing controversy surrounding a $100 million federal government grant scheme, which is a damning audit last week revealed was used to splash cash at marginal electorates before last year's federal election. Now, look, I've gone on the record to say, Michael, that, you know, she's not the first politician that's ever pork-barreled her way through her portfolio, and she certainly won't be the last. I thought it was a storm in a teacup. More allegations have come out over the last sort of 72 hours. She's definitely under pressure. Be interesting to see if she can withstand that political pressure, because it is mounting.
Yeah, well, you can tell when the story's got legs, because I talked about this with you on the show when I was on last week, and the fact that it's now still on page one and dominating news agendas a week or so later shows that this isn't going to go away anytime soon. And look, the opposition is absolutely right to pursue this. So we do remember this type of thing cost Ros Kelly her job as Sports Minister years ago. So it's not without precedent for a Sports Minister to lose a job over this type of thing. And in this case, I think the perception, the problem is here, of course, politics is largely about perception. And the growing perception amongst Australians out there is that this hasn't been a fair process, and that clubs that really did need that money weren't given a fair shot at it, because the government ministers were so keen to pork-barrel their own electorates, and that includes Scott Morrison's electorate, that includes Josh Frydenberg, and I think this is a cracker page one in the Age with the fact that Bridget McKenzie failed to disclose that she gave money to a gun club that she was actually a member of. I think that's pretty damning, and so I think that this could head to the courts, because there are questions over whether it's constitutional the way that the money's handed out, and I think there's a long way to go yet on this story.
Lisa?
Front page photograph of her with a gun over her shoulder. I imagine there was a sub-editor sitting somewhere in this country very excited to find that photograph to run it with this story, because it sums it up, and she will see that tomorrow morning and just think, oh, they're the sort of photos that you don't want out there. The ABC, not surprisingly, went very hard on this tonight, and there were questions raised about whether these sporting clubs should be made to sort of pay this money back. Look, sporting clubs do it hard enough as it is trying to raise money. One of them was saying, and I can't remember which one it was, but that they had tried for years and years and years to get money to upgrade their facilities. So, look, I think all the sporting clubs who put their hands up for any government grant that they can get to improve their facilities, which often, are supporting young kids playing sport, they deserve the money. But when it's being pumped into marginal seats for political gain, I think then we have some questions to ask.